Why does China want a small island nation of Taiwan so badly? So I'll go ahead and read again from your article. A question that has frequently come up in my conversations the last few weeks regarding Taiwan is, why does China want a small island nation of Taiwan so badly? Taiwan is an economic powerhouse in Asia that produces over 50% of the world's semiconductors, but is only 0.3% of the land area of China, and China only produces 6% of the world's semiconductors. So it should seem self-evident to most that China would want Taiwan for their economy, right? Not necessarily. As I stated earlier, China sees the civil war as unfinished, with the KMT running off to Taiwan to form the rogue nation. In Chinese culture and across most Asian cultures, there is a concept of honor and what we call saving face in China's case. With China winning the civil war over the mainland, they see losing Taiwan to the KMT as losing face, or a loss of honor and an embarrassment to their legacy. The only way to regain honor is by taking back Taiwan. So is that, in your eyes, is that the only reason that they want Taiwan, or are there like other reasons that they would want Taiwan? Is it kind of like a, like it was like a branch off? We want to have that branch back or something like that.
So there's a couple ways to look at it. First off, here in the U.S., our political interests are on a 4-year cycle. President after president after president, mainly. Presidents and, of course, Congress and all that. But, and even in our culture, we tend to be very, we have these cycles that all happen basically within the lifetime, within a generation. Every few years, interests change, not just politically, but socially and culturally. In Chinese culture, and really because of now it's this, totalitarian, it's not really as communist as they claim to be. It's more like authoritarian, totalitarian than anything, with the social credit system and all that. But that is more in line with the cultural values. Chinese culture is more communal, is more, it looks more on a larger scale of the society, the civilization, the country, the people. And because of that, it looks on larger time scales. So while we have the, we have our, the American dream is very much just, it can happen just like that. Like you can invent something, you can come up with a new idea, you could have some revolutionary thing, and bam, 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 you're rich. You do these things. And then, of course, the generation, someone like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk comes along, makes all this money, but their wealth doesn't really pass on that much because it's very much generation to generation. Things can change so quickly. Whereas with them, they're looking at it like China, as it stands today, the CCP government is not very old, but China is a 5,000-year culture, maybe even more. It's multiple governments, multiple civilizations, governments, monarchies, empires, kingdoms rising and falling. There's like the three kingdoms thing. Anyone who's played Dynasty Warriors kind of sees these different things happening. You had the Qing Dynasty, the first emperor to unite China and actually make all of China speak and write the same language, which is modern day Mandarin. But it's just this longer time scale. So they're looking at the legacy of China, which is a unified China, which includes the island. So when we're looking at the economic part, so we're, us as Americans and just really in the Western way of thinking, we're looking at the economics, the, sort of quarter to quarter changes that can happen, the president to president changes, but they're looking at the long game and trying to find, because they've been playing this, like I've said, since the end of active conflict. Ever since the new government was formed in Taiwan, they're looking at it like, okay, we got to get back in there. We've overextended ourselves. We've conquered China, the mainland. and we can't get to that island right now because the Chinese suffered major losses, not just because of the war. Hell, even during the revolution, they had to purge a lot of people too. And China has, in many cases, engaged in wars that that made no sense. Essentially, like anyone who looks in history, right after the Vietnam War, when we left there, the Viet Cong basically mined a lot of the northern part of Vietnam, and China decided we're going to move in there because we think we have a claim there. They sent 1 million men to their death because they thought if we send enough people, we'll eventually get through. Well, they all died. And they just, okay, we're not going to do that again. So to think that they won't because of the maybe like an economic problem or a manpower shortage, it's not really part of the thinking. It's we're going to do it, and they're trying to find that moment that they can get it done right.